And we're a market research and consulting company globally. I'm an automotive expert. We also cover wireless devices, smartphones, smart homes, connected digital life. So we're going to go quickly through. So when I grew up, I went to high school in the 90s. The car was my social network. It's kind of a little cheesy thing I like to say. But again, I put pictures from the 60s and 70s just to show that even from the 60s and 70s to the 90s, not a whole lot changed, where I would still have to call my friends on a telephone. We only had one line, no call waiting, if anyone even knows what that is anymore. I used tape, made mixtapes and then CDs. I grew up in an 8-bit world. AM, FM was the primary way I was getting information into the car and advertising into the car. And again, whenever I did anything, again, I'm a car guy, I raced cars, broke cars, fixed cars. That was kind of what I did growing up, and all my friends got together and we helped each other with that. I didn't have a girlfriend until I had a car. And the good news now is I still have the car and the girl. So. But now today, it's a whole new world. I'm kind of jealous of if I grew up 20 plus years later, of what can happen in this world, how you can market to people, whether you're marketing to people to actually sell cars and then actually bring them back to the dealership to have their car worked on. That's one aspect of the automotive industry, as well as automotive insurance, buying your tires, getting your oil changed. That's a whole one part of what you can all use your creative minds to market towards, as well as the consumer also has many other ways they can be marketed towards. Again, I used to have AM, FM in the car. That was basically it, and billboards that I could look at, very old school. Well, now they're bringing in portable devices. The car itself has apps, many other ways to have personalized advertising brought into that consumer. But primarily in the car, what people are doing, they're talking on the phone and they're listening to the radio still. I'm going to get into it a little bit more, but the challenge for anyone here advertising to someone in the car, it's not a visual environment. Hopefully you're watching the road while you're driving, where a lot of the rest of the, in the mobile world, when you're being advertised to, is a very visual experience, whether you're watching an ad before a Netflix video, for example. You can't do that in the car. So radio is not dead yet. Of course, the younger demographics, it's dying. It might be sick, but it's not dead. So again, right now, we have respondents in the US, sample size of about 1,200 people. 18 to 34 listening to music from their own device daily compared to 13%. This is from their own device, if they're tethering a smartphone or bringing in a device to listen in the vehicle. And then, but still, 70% of respondents are saying AM/FM is a must-have feature in their next vehicle. Only 4% were uninterested. So AM/FM is still alive, at least in the vehicle. Let's skip through this one. This is just comparing how much IP you need in the car. So right now, when we say a connected car, yes, you can have a connected car, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi from your portable device, but you can also have the car itself connected with a modem built into the car. Different use cases, different ideas, where there's the OnStar model, where GM had an embedded modem in the car. If your car crashes, if your car is stolen, there's certain things you can do to call the police and remedy that situation. So it's kind of an older model where now everyone has a smartphone. People are saying, well, I don't want to pay for a connected car. What's it doing for me? What's the daily relevance? So we're going to work on some use cases for having an embedded modem in the car, as well as having tethering your smartphone with you. Right now, who's going to be the main winner? The OEM, that's the original equipment manufacturer, the guy's building the actual car. Who's going to win if there is a connected car? The driver or the OEM? Of course, well, actually both are going to win. The driver does want to be connected, because right now when you're in the car, I showed the slide before about a younger kid in the car, he's texting on his phone. Right now, younger people feel very disconnected in the car. They're not supposed to text, not supposed to interact with their phone in the car, where it's just too dangerous. Where now, if we can have the car connected, have a user experience that's safe to use while you're moving in the vehicle to be relevant in the connected world, the driver will win. But then the guys making the car, they can really win too. They can be connected to, they can understand their consumer much better, know where they are, how they're using the car, how they're using the user interface, and they can actually keep that consumer buying their car the next time they need a new car, or bringing it in for service when it needs servicing, or if, heaven forbid, if there's a recall on that vehicle, they can take care of that customer very quickly. Kind of following the model that we see in the wireless space with what's happened. Yeah, we all like our smartphones, we like to be connected, but I think Google, Android, and Samsung and Apple are doing pretty well too. Again, What does the car maker want? Do they want to understand their consumer preferences? Of course. Do they want to be proactive? Yes. Anticipate failures? Yes. Predictive maintenance. If you know what's happening with the engine, in the vehicle, in the whole fleet of vehicles, you can do a lot with that information, help the consumer. Develop customer relationship, get the customer to buy that vehicle the next time, bring it in to their dealership to be a service, not the Jiffy Lube. Vehicle relationship management, again, watch that vehicle, see if there's something wrong with that vehicle, preventative maintenance. Enable firmware over-the-air updates. Right now, our phones are always updated, latest and greatest software. My TV, my DVR, and even my Blu-ray player are all updated over the internet, but my car is not right now. You have to bring it to the dealership, and they have to reflash at the dealership. So over-the-air updates there, General Motors, Mercedes, and Tesla can do them right now. So upgrading the car over the air can help the consumer. Crowdsourcing opportunities enable big data. There's a tremendous number of sensors on the vehicle, a lot of information, but all that information is locked in the vehicle. It's not helping the greater outside world. And then safety, security, location services, exactly. And what does the driver want? They want the same thing. And they're both going to win, hopefully. But the real message here, big takeaway, don't get too lost in the numbers. Consumers don't want to pay for a connected car. Have a smartphone. What do I need a connected car for? So the idea is for the automakers to put an embedded modem in the car. They're already doing that now. But don't make me pay $20, $30 a month for that service. Have the services, the data that you can extract from me, pay for the limited services. Maybe have me pay for extra, have a hotspot in the car, some mobile payments, some other things you can do while you're in the car. But right now, the big push in the vehicle right now is contextual awareness. Right now there's an icon. If you do have a touch screen in the car, it's just an icon. You hit a weather button, you hit a traffic button. Most of that isn't relevant to you while you're in the car. So it needs to be contextually relevant to where you are, where you're going. Probably not going to be making too many purchases while you're in the car. I don't personally believe in that, but you're going to be making a purchase where you're going in your car. So a lot of major purchases, never mind the purchase of the car itself, but major purchases consumers make are done after they're in a car and they bring it home in a vehicle. So again, infotainment, daily relevance to the driver. You have a captive audience with that driver when they're in the car. Depending on where they are in the world or in the U.S., they can be in the car for upwards of an hour each way for their commute in the morning. You have a captive audience, and right now you're, with radio being the primary way to advertise, you're blasting a lot of irrelevant information to that driver where you can have contextually aware and driver-specific targeted advertising. Terrestrial and satellite radio is still viable. People are still listening to the radio, and they'll actually pay for satellite radio in the car. But again, that's not a good way to target that consumer directly. Vehicle software will be updated over there. That's kind of a different play of basically once you have a connected car, you can bring that consumer back to that dealership and do quite a bit with that information. Another key takeaway is driver distraction. I can't stress it enough where cars are killing 3,000 people a day in the world. They kill more people yearly than AIDS or malaria. So cars do kill people. People can't be distracted while they're in the car. So get the idea of visual, moving graphics in the car for advertising. You just can't do that. So this room needs to work with the automotive industry and the wireless device makers to be able to bring in Googles and Apples. They're moving into the car as well. How to advertise to these consumers safely while they're in their vehicle. So that's my key takeaways. If anyone wants to know anything about the general automotive industry from engine management to connected services, please ask me. So thank you. I think we're going to open up the floor to any questions if anyone has any. Sure.
Question for you.
Sure.
Kind of describing the value chain there
Mm-hmm.
with the OEMs and the drivers. You're not talking about the carriers.
Oh, sure.
And I'm wondering if AT&T signed up with that
Yep.
connected cars and drivers.
Yes. Yep. They're clients of ours as well. So the whole ecosystem we work with the guys that make the cars, the guy that makes the parts to become the cars, the microchip companies, software companies like Microsoft. We work, I'm not sure if Vlad's here, we work with Monotype for the fonts that are in the car, very important for brand recognition. BMW has certain fonts, but they can't be distracting, easy to read. And then the wireless carriers they're a huge part of it. They want to grab that consumer too. They want to say, well, if I'm a Verizon customer, do I get a discount on my car, on my GM car? Oh, I used to, but now GM switched from Verizon to AT&T. So what the vehicle manufacturers want, and I think they do now, to have a solution where they can be carrier agnostic or not limited to one carrier. So, but they're right in that mix too. The wireless carriers, they all have a play. But it's a big challenge for automakers who are used to having that closed ecosystem. The car has been closed for 100 years where they own user experience, they own the driver, they own everything, to working with, they work with insurance companies. They don't work with, but the consumers buy insurance. They also have to be connected through a wireless carrier, so there's another billion-dollar industry. And now there's Google and Apple trying to come in, take over their user experience, take over their customer. Yeah, we want to be able to advertise. We want to say, oh yeah, we have a Google and Android-enabled car. But then again, wow, they're going to steal our consumers, steal our dollars away. So I kind of hijacked your question if you had one, but sure. Sure.
Are there any cars that identify
Yeah, not on the car, like powered by Verizon or Intel inside or Verizon inside. So, but not necessarily, because you would send your bill, like for GM, you send it to your money to OnStop. You won't send it to Verizon or now AT&T.